Why do I get the feeling something may have gone wrong in the lab again? Just a suspicion I have. It's smoky in here. Maybe it's your fault, Cthulhu. Anyway, hello kids. Welcome once again to the Library of Horror Hotel, where it's time for taking another look at a great, cool entry in the world of Halloween monster masks. Now, kids, folks, humans, ladies and trees, boys and shrubberies, please just listen for a moment. The management, by which I mean me, feels it is only fair to warn you that in the course of doing a series where we discuss art relating to monster design and Halloween related paraphernalia, it is probably unavoidable that at some point certain images may cross a line in the minds of certain viewers. Certain viewers of a more delicate disposition, in fact, may be unnerved or unsettled, may find certain images so strong, so horrifying and terrifying, so deeply troubling that they will haunt you and haunt your nightmares for weeks afterwards. Sometimes things are just too horrifying. But not here, because it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yes, it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And if you were born yesterday, you probably never saw him before. But if you were born prior to yesterday, you're probably way ahead of me on this one already, because you know, oh, that's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from what movie? The 1984 original called Ghostbusters. Yeah, and I'm holding up the high quality cardboard tag there so you can see it's a licensed collectible. Now, there have been several masks of the Marshmallow Man over the years. This one is a recent release from Trick or Treat Studios, 2025, right? Yeah, from Trick or Treat Studios. And it says right on here, Ghostbusters. And let's see what else it says. It says sculpted by Alex Ray. So if you look on the back, that's where you can find out it was sculpted by Alex Ray. Now you might be thinking, I thought that Dr. Lady character liked really scary, horrible, creepy masks. Why would he recommend a funny, goofy mask? You know? Well, you know what they say, variety is the spice of afterlife, right? Or was that nutmeg? Well, anyway, this guy I think is unique in that when he first appeared in Ghostbusters in 1984, he was represented as a surprise, sort of a reveal kind of monster, and you expected something horrible and scary, and like people in the audience were probably expecting something like a big red devil or a big werewolf or a big skeleton or something like that thing that appeared at the last episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead, maybe something like that. And then what comes out is a completely harmless looking, jolly, friendly looking character. And it's very, very funny. And I think this perfectly encapsulates the humor and the what can I call it, whimsy of that scene and that moment and that movie. Because back then, there were movies that were still allowed to be made that weren't trying to preach or teach or indoctrinate or groom or brainwash or anything like that. They were just entertainment. Just eat popcorn, have fun, watch the silly movie. And Ghostbusters was kind of in that category. Now, if you're wondering the details of this thing, he's made of vinyl, not latex, and that's why he holds his shape so well, even though he's this big. And you can see he really is big, all right? I have a fairly normal-sized head, which is one of the only very few normal things I can say for myself. I have a pretty normal-sized head, and you can see how big this guy is. Now, inside the vinyl Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, there is one of those clear plastic shells, okay, that goes in there that keeps the face in shape for display. You could take it out if you want to. If you're going to actually wear this thing, you're definitely going to want to take it out if you like breathing. Now, he does have eye cuts in the pupils, and they have that black mesh fabric in there, or you know, black what do you call that, netting For noobs, I like to compare it to the Scream masks because most people know what the Scream mask looked like, the ghost face mask, because that has the black fabric in the eyes. This has that same deal going on. Now, his hat also has the clear plastic disc thing that's supposed to go in the front, but it never fits in there properly, and it's usually kicking around inside the mask loose, so never mind about it. Throw it away, I say, but leave the big one in there for his face. It's pretty perfectly painted. It's got the real, the little button with the ribbon hanging on the, it's pretty nice, pretty much of a quality product. And there have been masks of this character before, over the years. I remember Chris Russell did an awesome one, but that was like, 20 years ago or something, and that one's long gone. But there have been others from other companies who had the licensing to the Ghostbusters products, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man turned out to be such a popular character that he's appeared as all kinds of toys and collectibles and figurines and, you know, plushes and beanies and stickers and keychains and all over the place. So there have been a lot of collectibles over the years. Personally, I think he was at his most wonderful in the first movie. Now, in some of the way later sequels and remakes and prequels and whatnot, they threw him in there again. But the first time, it was hilarious, and it was unexpected, and it was really, really funny. The later movies that use him again feels a little bit like condescension, doesn't it? Feels a little bit disingenuous or something, like they're patronizing me by saying, hey, remember this in that other movie? You liked that? You thought it was funny, right? Here it is again. You should like our movie. It doesn't really work that way for me. And I think, yeah, there's the Marshmallow Man again. He really should have only been in that first movie, I think. But, you know, he thinks otherwise. He thinks he should be in every movie, including like the Mission Impossible movies and the John Wick movies. And he thinks he should be in all of those. But that's just him. He's a big, soft, squishy marshmallow. And even though he looks completely innocent and fun and all that, he is actually a monster in the context of Ghostbusters. Now, Trick or Treat also makes another version that is the Toasted Marshmallow Man, in which he has sustained battle damage in his fight against the Ghostbusters, and he's partly burned up and melted and toasted. I'm hoping that's on your screen right now. Is that on there? I can't see it from this side of the screen, but hopefully you can see it from your side. Anyway, they make that version. Some people might like that version better. I prefer the pure, unadulterated, original, clean version, which I think captures his most effective moment, which again, I think was his first moment on screen when he comes up and you don't expect something that's going to look like this, and it's very funny. The angry version with the toasted face, it's okay, but it kind of, to me, it loses humor because it steers it more into the horrific aspect, and I think it's kind of not as effective. It's not as appropriate. It's not as fun, certainly, as this version, to have him looking angry and melted and toasted and like that. I guess I'm saying, why taint or besmirch or lessen the impact of the pure original comedy moment with the real-life horror of facial disfigurement by burning? No, not appropriate in this case, I think. So I like this version better. He also has foam rubber inside the hat, and it's a good thing because, as I said, the plastic thing never fits properly in there. But he has a foam rubber lining in it inside the hat, and he's very sturdy stuff. You could really wear this. Now, obviously, if you're going to wear it, if you're going to just wear it on your head with your normal clothes, you're just completely, you know, having fun, being silly. If you really want to dress up, like for a costume contest or something for Halloween, as the Marshmallow Man, there have been a bunch of costumes over the years by different companies. There's one from HalloweenCostumes.com, aka fun.com. There's one by Rubies. There's one by, I think, Disguise Inc. over the years. So there have been a bunch of them. Some of them are just white suits with sort of some padding in there, sort of like a big stuffed animal, a big plush thing. But I think the one that's the best, that's hard to beat, the inflatable Marshmallow Man costumes. I love those for costumes because it looks like a big marshmallow. And you've seen those costumes, right? The inflatables that have a little fan in there that keeps it puffed out. talk about Stay Puft, there you go. Unfortunately, I don't have a method to adapt the inflatable costume to use the trick-or-treat mask. So I'm saying this is for your prop collection. I'm saying this is a prop replica sort of piece for the mask collection and for the Ghostbuster fan, for the Ghostbuster collection. Great gift for the Ghostbuster fan, isn't it? My goodness, yes. Big and sturdy and vinyl, and pretty heavy vinyl at that. And let's see if it says anything else of interest on here. It does say ages 14 plus, which means if you're younger than 14, you might be so small that this thing will just fall down and you just have two little feet sticking out the bottom, and you know, don't give this mask to babies. No, and don't put it too close to the flames. I need to do something about that candle, don't I? Ha! Anyway, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, what do you sell for? About 80 bucks? Yeah, about 80 bucks. What a great sculpture and a great quality product, and I think long overdue to have a collector edition of this very memorable character from the icons of horror and horror comedy. I'm talking about the original 1984 Ghostbusters. That's right, the one with Bill Murray as Peter Venkman, and Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz, and Harold Ramis as Egon Spengler, and Ernie Hudson as Winston Zeddemore or Zeddemore, depending on where you're looking at the spelling of it. Yeah, I remember that stuff. Why? I don't know, but I do. Anyway, next time you're going to the camp out, he's the guy to make s'mores. And well, I hope to be back with another mask next week. I hope. And just to see if I can find one, I'm going to go ahead and start looking for ghosts now.